Today I want to show you how I added wood paneling to the bed of this 1969 Chevy C-10, and there it is. I'm going to go through step by step and show you what I did, how things worked, and things that I would do differently. Because the bed is so long, I'm using 2 sheets of 1/2-inch plywood for the base, and then I'm going to be laying out 1 by 5-ish pieces of hemlock. Once I have the orientation all laid out, I'm going to start gluing the panels to the plywood. In order to do that, I am using some weights to add pressure to it in the middle. Luckily, this was kind of a hot day, so the glue dried really quickly. I'm just using a lot of glue and also trying to put glue on the joints there and then pull it together almost like you're doing a regular panel glue up. And if you don't have clamps that are super long like I do and you're interlocking them there, you could probably just throw these on some sawhorses and then just drive screws from the underneath to pull everything down and hold everything in place. So that is another option if you don't have clamps. Just lay your boards out and screw them all from the underside. And then for the finish on this, I'm using Minwax's English Chesnut. I'm using a foam roller to apply it on super thick and then just some rags to wipe away the excess. Now that I have both panels ready to go, I'm going to pull them together with some clamps and then screw them together to hold them in place so I don't need those clamps on there, and I can lay the template on top and trace it out. So to make the template, I did it one side at a time, or at least I originally started doing it that way, using some strips of 3/4-inch plywood and then random just scrap pieces I had laying around to connect everything. I originally thought, oh, I'll just do one side at a time and it'll be fine. After I did one side, I realized that if I were to try to do the other side the same way with just one template setting it on the other side, I could run the risk of not having it cut to the right size, and then I'm gonna have to cut it down to fit it in the bed, and then I would have to cut the wheel wells again. So what I did was I just cut one side, kind of got some practice on how I wanted to do it, use my track saw as much as I can to get completely straight cuts, and then follow it up with my jigsaw for the corners. And the corners didn't come out exactly perfect, so I did use my belt sander to kind of just clean those up to make sure that I got it nice and flush. As you can see here, I'm connecting both sides and I'm thinking, this is good, this is a great idea, this is gonna work perfectly. I'm gonna have this whole template right here, and then I go to take it out, and I'm sure some of you probably already figured this out. I did not. It's not coming out in one piece because of the lips on the top of the bed, and yeah, even though I looked at it different ways, it wasn't coming out. So what I did was I disassembled it into 2 pieces and then set it on the wood paneling and made sure and attach the screws right back exactly into the holes that they came out of, so that way it stayed the exact shape that I needed and the exact size. Then I traced everything out on the wood so I knew where to cut. Used my tape template again, so I had my radius for the wheel wells. Used my track saw as much as I could to get perfectly straight cuts. Then I went back through with the jigsaw and cut the corners out. Then I cut it down the middle into 4 pieces, added slots for your fingers with a cove bit, so that way it was easy to get your hand under there to lift them out. This I didn't think of until after I had it already set in the bed. Then I realized some finger grooves would probably be helpful. I did want to use dominoes or biscuits or tongue and groove something in here to kind of interlock them, but after I got it in place I realized that it couldn't have anything like that just because of the way that it slides in and sits together. So the right side has a tongue that goes under there, but the left side does not. But it's not going anywhere. I had a lot of people have questions about road noise, it flying out, stuff like that. It's not gonna fly out. It might have some road noise. I was thinking furniture sliders would be a good way to eliminate that. Just put like 4 on the corner of each panel, probably quiet it. And then also I was thinking magnets to hold it down and together, but I didn't end up using them because it is plenty snug in there and it's not going anywhere. So to all the people that said that it's gonna fly out, it's absolutely not gonna fly out. The other concern that people had was the bed rusting out due to water being underneath there. I know that there are holes already in the bed for drainage. Originally, there was just a sheet of plywood in the bed for, I think that they said it was in there for years, and you saw the bed in the beginning of the video and it seemed fine. So thank you so much for watching, and like I said, make sure and let me know in the comments what you think, and if there was something that I blew past and it didn't really make sense or I didn't talk about it, I will do my best to reply to you and let you know what I did and how it worked out.